The ancient Stoics, masters of reason and tranquility, believed the greatest battles are not fought on distant fields, but within ourselves. They taught that the true measure of strength lies in mastering emotions, not conquering the world around us. In today's whirlwind of interactions, their wisdom resonates deeply. Have you ever left a conversation feeling drained, your energy siphoned by someone who seems to thrive on negativity? Such encounters can leave a lingering shadow over your mood, pulling you away from your inner calm. But imagine a way to handle these situations with resilience, compassion, and grace. Picture yourself, a guardian of your own inner fortress, armed with strategies that empower you to navigate the stormiest of human dynamics. These aren't just lofty ideals, they are practical, time-tested tools derived from the Stoic philosophers who walked this earth centuries ago. Close your eyes and envision your mind as a citadel, a place of peace and strength. Just as a vigilant guard watches for threats, you too must be alert to the signs of toxicity approaching your gates. Toxic individuals, like insidious forces, can slip through unnoticed, planting seeds of doubt, frustration, and chaos. Their criticism may sting, their manipulation might ensnare, and their unrelenting negativity could weigh on your spirit. Yet, as Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. These words hold a key to understanding how to remain unshaken. It's not their actions that have power over you, but your interpretation of them. The first step to defending your citadel is awareness, recognizing the traits of toxicity and understanding the games these individuals play. A toxic person might criticize incessantly, leaving you questioning your abilities. Others might use manipulation, veiled in sweet words or guilt-laden traps, to control your actions. Still, some carry a heavy cloud of negativity, always pointing to the worst in every situation, dragging those around them into their gloom. Take a moment to reflect on those you've encountered. The narcissist seeking endless validation, the gossip who thrives on stirring discord, or the energy vampire who leaves you feeling utterly depleted after every interaction. The Stoics would advise not only recognizing these personalities, but also understanding their motives. Like a general surveying the battlefield, you must anticipate their moves and fortify your defenses. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, standing firm amidst the chaos of ruling an empire. His strength lay not in reacting impulsively, but in setting clear boundaries, walls that defined what was acceptable and what was not. Boundaries are your first line of defense against the encroaching negativity of toxic individuals. They are not walls of isolation, but gates of self-respect, allowing you to choose what enters and what remains outside. To establish these boundaries, you must first identify what drains you. Is it the constant complaints of a colleague, the manipulative behavior of a friend, or the overstepping advice of a family member? Once you've pinpointed the source, the next step is to communicate your limits firmly yet respectfully. Channel your inner Marcus Aurelius as you calmly articulate your needs. Instead of saying, "You're always so negative," try, "I feel overwhelmed when the focus is always on the worst. Let's talk about something uplifting." Be precise, leaving no room for misinterpretation, and above all, be consistent in enforcing these boundaries. But what happens when words aren't enough? When faced with someone who pokes and prods, seeking to provoke a reaction, the Stoics would counsel you to become unshakable, a grey rock in the torrent of their emotional storm. This technique, inspired by the calm and indifference the Stoics practiced, allows you to remain neutral and unyielding, offering no fuel for their fire. Instead of engaging in their drama, you respond with simplicity. "I see," or That's interesting. Your calm becomes a mirror reflecting their futility. Even when their provocations escalate, as they often will, hold steadfast. They may hurl insults or push buttons, but your strength lies in refusing to play their game. The more you practice this detachment, the more you'll notice their power over you fading. You are no longer the puppet responding to their strings, but the master of your own peace. As you navigate these encounters, remember the wisdom of Seneca, who reminded us that true happiness comes from within, unshaken by external storms. Toxic individuals may try to sow discord, but by cultivating a mindset of calm observation, you can rise above their negativity. Visualize yourself as a mountain, unmoved by the howling winds. The winds may rage, but the mountain stands resolute. In the next steps of this journey, you'll discover even more ways to fortify your inner tranquility. From limiting exposure to toxicity to surrounding yourself with supportive allies and embracing the transformative power of self-care, each tool will strengthen your ability to handle these challenges with poise. Your inner citadel, guarded by the wisdom of the Stoics, will stand strong against any storm. Imagine yourself as a wise ruler of a vast kingdom, a sovereign who understands the delicate balance between openness and protection. Just as a ruler fortifies the walls of a castle against invasions, you must strengthen your own emotional boundaries against the onslaught of negativity. Toxic individuals, much like invaders, often test the strength of these defenses, looking for weak spots to exploit. To guard your inner peace, it's essential to maintain a well-fortified stance, firm yet compassionate, clear yet adaptable. But strengthening your walls isn't just about saying no to others. It's about saying yes to yourself. You must know where your energy is most valuable and protect it fiercely. Think of every interaction as a potential exchange of emotional currency. When faced with someone who drains you, it's time to question whether that investment is worth the cost. Are you gaining anything, or is it a one-sided transaction where your emotional reserves are depleted with nothing in return? This clarity is the foundation upon which your fortress is built. To implement this, start small. For example, when a toxic person demands more time or attention than you're comfortable giving, respond with confidence and kindness. Instead of a vague, "I can't," offer a clear, respectful statement, "I'm unavailable right now, but we can talk later." By doing so, you not only set limits but also establish that your boundaries are non-negotiable. It's not about being cold or dismissive. It's about valuing your well-being. Now picture this, a relentless antagonist who thrives on drama and conflict, baiting you with provocations designed to elicit anger, frustration, or guilt. They are like a skilled angler, casting their line repeatedly, waiting for you to bite. But instead of reacting, imagine yourself as the water beneath their line, calm, expansive, and indifferent. Their bait dangles, unclaimed, and eventually they realize it's futile. This practice of non-reaction is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. By refusing to engage, you deny them the satisfaction of controlling your emotions. It's not about ignoring the situation or pretending it doesn't exist. Rather, it's about maintaining your composure and choosing how you respond. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the power of stillness, reminding himself that external chaos does not have to disturb internal tranquility. When words fail to provoke you, silence becomes your most powerful response. Silence, in its measured application, is not weakness, it's strength. It communicates that you're in control, that you won't be dragged into unnecessary conflict. The absence of a reaction often unsettles those who seek drama, for their power lies in their ability to provoke. Take this moment to embody the Stoic warrior, poised, unyielding, and steadfast in the face of turbulence. But even the most disciplined warriors know the importance of strategic withdrawal. Sometimes the best course of action is to limit exposure. Imagine your time and energy as the finite resources of a flourishing empire. You wouldn't waste them on battles that offer no reward, so why expend them on relationships that only bring harm? This doesn't mean cutting people out impulsively. Instead, it's about creating intentional space to protect your mental health. For instance, if a co-worker's constant negativity disrupts your focus, find ways to minimize interaction without compromising professionalism. If a family member's toxicity is unrelenting, set specific limits on the duration and nature of your engagements. This isn't avoidance, it's preservation. By reducing exposure to negativity, you reclaim the energy needed to focus on what truly matters. To counterbalance this, build your own support system. Think of it as gathering allies who bolster your resolve and inspire you to stay true to your path. Seneca emphasized the value of surrounding oneself with virtuous individuals who reflect the qualities you seek to cultivate. These are the people who lift you when you're down, who encourage you to grow, and who remind you of your strength when doubt creeps in. Your support system can take many forms: a trusted friend who listens without judgment, a mentor who offers wise counsel, or even a community of like-minded individuals who share your values. Each of these relationships acts as a shield, buffering you against the impact of toxicity, and just as a fortress isn't built in a day, nurturing these connections requires time and effort. Make it a point to invest in these relationships. Share meaningful conversations, celebrate each other's successes, and provide support in times of need. At the heart of all this lies the practice of self-care. The Stoics understood that a well-tended mind and body are essential for resilience. Consider self-care as sharpening your sword and reinforcing your armor. It's not indulgence, it's preparation. Engage in activities that rejuvenate you, whether it's a walk in nature, a moment of stillness with your thoughts, or the pursuit of a hobby that brings you joy. These moments recharge your emotional batteries, making you less susceptible to the draining effects of toxic interactions. Think of a river flowing steadily despite obstacles in its path. The river doesn't resist the rocks or branches. It flows around them, maintaining its course. Self-care helps you embody this fluidity, allowing you to navigate challenges without being consumed by them. It equips you to face negativity with grace, knowing that your strength comes from within. As you fortify your defenses, remember that not every battle needs to be fought. There is wisdom in knowing when to walk away. It's not defeat, it's discernment. Walking away doesn't mean you failed to address the problem. It means you've chosen to prioritize your peace over unnecessary conflict. This decision is a profound act of self-respect, acknowledging that your well-being is too valuable to sacrifice. And in the moments when you feel burdened by the weight of past encounters, let forgiveness be your release. Forgiveness, as the Stoics saw it, isn't about excusing harmful behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of resentment. When you forgive, you reclaim your energy and redirect it toward growth. It's not for them, it's for you. In the grand journey of life, toxic individuals may cross your path, but they do not define it. Armed with the wisdom of the Stoics, you can navigate their presence without losing your way. Your inner citadel, strong and unwavering, remains a sanctuary of peace, a testament to your resilience and mastery of self. Imagine standing on the edge of a serene lake at sunrise. The water is still, mirroring the hues of the sky, a picture of tranquility. Then a small stone is thrown in, disrupting the surface with ripples spreading outward. This is how toxic individuals often impact us. They create disturbances in our calm. But the Stoics teach us that while we cannot stop the stone from being thrown, we can choose how we let it affect our inner peace. The ripples don't have to reach the depths of our serenity. To master this, you must cultivate a mindset of detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means maintaining your inner equilibrium despite external chaos. The Stoics believed in the power of viewing situations objectively, as if you were an observer rather than a participant. Imagine watching a play unfold on a stage. The characters might shout, argue, or create drama, but you know it's just a performance. Their actions do not define you, nor do they have any bearing on your identity or worth. When a toxic person lashes out with criticism or negativity, step back mentally. Instead of reacting, take a moment to breathe and assess the situation. Ask yourself, is this about me, or is it a reflection of their struggles? Often, their behavior stems from their insecurities, fears, or frustrations. Recognizing this allows you to separate their actions from your sense of self. You're not the storm. You're the calm observer, watching it pass. In these moments, silence becomes your ally. Picture an ancient Stoic sage, seated in quiet contemplation, as the world around them stirs with noise and clamor. Their silence is not weakness, it's a testament to their strength. By choosing not to respond to provocations, you deny toxic individuals the power to manipulate your emotions. They thrive on reactions, but without them, their attempts lose momentum. Silence disarms them, leaving them to wrestle with their own negativity. But silence isn't always about ignoring. It can also be an act of reflection. Use these pauses to center yourself, to remind yourself of your values and priorities. The Stoics often spoke of the importance of aligning actions with virtue. When faced with toxicity, ask yourself, what response aligns with the person I strive to be? Often, the answer lies in restraint, patience, and grace. As you navigate these encounters, you might find that some individuals persist in their negativity despite your best efforts to remain composed. In such cases, limiting your exposure becomes crucial. Imagine a fire that's constantly fed with wood. It continues to burn, consuming everything around it. Now, imagine stepping back, withholding the fuel. The fire diminishes, eventually dying out. Toxic people are much like this fire. They thrive on the energy you give them. By reducing your interactions, you take away their fuel, protecting your peace in the process. Sometimes limiting exposure means physical distance, choosing not to engage in unnecessary conversations or declining invitations to gatherings where their negativity dominates. Other times, it's about creating emotional distance, learning to let their words pass through you without taking root. This doesn't mean cutting ties entirely, but establishing a safe buffer where their influence no longer impacts your well-being. However, reducing negativity is only half the equation. To truly flourish, you must surround yourself with positivity. Think of your inner circle as the soil in which your emotional well-being grows. Healthy, supportive relationships act as nutrients, fostering resilience and strength. Seek out those who inspire you, who uplift your spirit, and who encourage you to be your best self. In building this network, don't underestimate the power of shared values. The Stoics emphasized the importance of surrounding oneself with individuals who embody virtues like kindness, wisdom, and courage. These relationships serve as a reminder of the person you aspire to become. They act as a mirror, reflecting your potential and helping you grow. But even with the strongest support system, you must take responsibility for your own well-being. Self-care, a practice deeply aligned with Stoic philosophy, is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Marcus Aurelius himself reflected often on the importance of caring for the body and mind as tools for living a virtuous life. He understood that a weary mind cannot think clearly, just as a weakened body cannot act decisively. Engage in activities that recharge your spirit. This might be as simple as taking a walk in nature, where the beauty of the world reminds you of life's harmony, or perhaps it's journaling, a practice the Stoics often use to reflect on their thoughts and align their actions with their principles. Whatever form it takes, make self-care a priority, recognizing that it strengthens your ability to face challenges with grace. Consider this: a warrior wouldn't enter battle with a dull sword or broken armor. Similarly, you must ensure your emotional and physical tools are sharp and ready. Rest when you need to, nourish your body with wholesome food, and create moments of stillness to clear your mind. These acts are not indulgent. They are acts of preparation, enabling you to engage with the world from a place of strength. Still, there will be times when you feel the weight of past interactions lingering, a residue of frustration or hurt that clouds your present. In these moments, the Stoics offer a powerful tool: forgiveness. Forgiveness, they teach, is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from its hold. When you forgive, you let go of the emotional baggage that ties you to the past, allowing you to move forward unburdened. Picture a traveler shedding a heavy cloak as they step into the sunlight. Forgiveness is that act of shedding, a release that brings lightness and clarity. It's not a gift you give to others, it's a gift you give to yourself. By forgiving, you reclaim the energy that resentment drains, redirecting it toward growth and renewal. Forgiveness also involves compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. Acknowledge the moments when you've been affected by toxicity and extend the same kindness to yourself that you would to a dear friend. Remind yourself that you're human, that you're learning, and that every step forward is a victory. Through these practices, detachment, silence, boundaries, self-care, and forgiveness, you create a life that is not only resilient to toxicity, but also rich with purpose and joy. You become the guardian of your own peace, an unwavering presence in a world that often tests your strength. Your citadel, fortified with Stoic wisdom, stands tall, a beacon of serenity amidst life's storms. Imagine yourself walking through a dense forest. The air is cool, and the path ahead is winding, dotted with obstacles, fallen branches, uneven terrain, and tangled vines. Each step requires attention, but the destination is worth it. A serene clearing bathed in sunlight, a place of peace and clarity. This journey mirrors the path we take when dealing with toxic individuals. Their negativity may feel like those obstacles, tripping you up or slowing you down, but with patience and a clear mindset, you can navigate through and emerge stronger. One of the most powerful tools in this journey is understanding that toxic behavior is often not about you. When someone lashes out or spreads negativity, it's a projection of their own inner turmoil. Recognizing this truth is liberating. It allows you to see their behavior for what it is, a reflection of their struggles, not a judgment of your worth. This shift in perspective can transform how you approach these interactions. Consider a toxic person who constantly criticizes your decisions. Instead of internalizing their words, you pause and reflect, what's driving this behavior? Often, it's rooted in their insecurities or frustrations. By detaching yourself emotionally, you become an observer rather than a participant in their negativity. This detachment doesn't mean you're ignoring the situation, it means you're refusing to let their turmoil become your own. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reminded himself that other people's actions are beyond his control, but his response is not. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words hold a timeless truth. When you stop taking their actions personally, you reclaim your power. Their storm may rage, but it doesn't have to unsettle your inner calm. To strengthen this inner calm, practice the art of non-reaction. Picture a stoic warrior standing firm as arrows fly past them. They don't flinch or retaliate. They remain focused, knowing that their composure is their greatest shield. In the same way, when someone tries to provoke you, whether with sarcasm, guilt trips, or outright hostility, pause before you react. Take a breath. Silence in these moments becomes your most potent tool. It disarms the other person, leaving them with no fuel to continue their emotional onslaught. But non-reaction isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about channeling them constructively. Instead of letting their words spark anger or frustration, use those moments to reinforce your boundaries. For example, if someone repeatedly undermines you in a conversation, respond calmly but firmly. "I've heard your perspective, but I'm choosing to focus on what's important to me." This assertiveness, rooted in stoic discipline, communicates your boundaries without escalating the conflict. Still, there will be situations where words aren't enough. Some individuals persist in their negativity despite your efforts to remain composed. In these cases, limiting your exposure is not just wise, it's essential. Think of your energy as a precious resource. Would you pour it into a vessel with holes, knowing it will leak away? Similarly, investing time and emotional energy in toxic relationships depletes you without return. Start by evaluating the nature of your interactions. Are they necessary? If not, consider stepping back. This might mean declining invitations, avoiding certain conversations, or even setting clear limits on how much time you spend with them. For relationships you cannot completely avoid, like those with co-workers or family members, focus on creating emotional distance. This might involve reframing their negativity as a challenge for you to practice patience and resilience rather than a personal attack. At the same time, surround yourself with positive influences. Imagine planting a garden. If you focus only on removing weeds, the soil may be clear, but it remains barren. To create a flourishing environment, you must plant seeds, nurture them, and let them grow. The same principle applies to your emotional landscape. Seek out relationships that bring joy, encouragement, and mutual respect. These are the flowers in your garden, enriching your life with their presence. But even the most beautiful garden requires tending. Self-care is the water and sunlight that keep your inner world thriving. It's not just about relaxation, it's about renewal. Engage in activities that nourish your soul. Perhaps it's reading a book that inspires you, taking a long walk in nature, or practicing mindfulness meditation. Whatever form it takes, self-care replenishes your emotional reserves, making you more resilient to negativity. The Stoics believed in the power of reflection as a form of self-care. Journaling, for instance, was a common practice among them. Seneca often wrote letters to himself, reflecting on his day, his thoughts, and his actions. This practice allowed him to align his choices with his values and to learn from his experiences. You too can use this tool. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect. How did I handle challenges today? Did I stay true to my principles? These reflections not only provide clarity, but also foster growth. Still, as you navigate these strategies, you may find that certain interactions linger in your mind, casting shadows over your peace. This is where forgiveness becomes crucial, not for the other person's sake, but for your own. Forgiveness is the act of releasing the emotional weight of resentment. It doesn't mean excusing their behavior or forgetting the harm caused. It means freeing yourself from the grip of anger and allowing space for healing. Picture a heavy bag filled with stones, each representing a grievance or hurt. Carrying it slows you down, draining your energy. Forgiveness is the act of setting the bag down, not because the stones aren't heavy, but because you recognize you don't need to carry them any longer. This release doesn't condone the actions of the other person. It acknowledges your decision to prioritize your well-being. In forgiving, extend compassion not only to others, but also to yourself. Toxic interactions can leave you questioning your actions, wondering if you could have done more or been stronger. Remind yourself that growth is a journey, not a destination. Each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Through detachment, boundaries, self-care, and forgiveness, you cultivate a life that is resilient to toxicity and rich with meaning. You are not a victim of others' negativity, but a guardian of your own peace. Like a mountain standing tall amidst raging winds, your inner citadel remains unshaken, a sanctuary of strength and serenity. Imagine a ship navigating a turbulent sea, waves crashing against its hull, the wind howling in its sails. The captain stands resolute, hands steady on the wheel, eyes fixed on the horizon. The storm is fierce, but the captain knows that by staying calm and focused, the ship will reach calmer waters. This is the mindset you must adopt when dealing with toxic individuals. They are the storm, unpredictable and relentless, but you are the captain of your own ship, in control of how you navigate their chaos. The first step in maintaining this control is to resist the urge to fix them. It's natural to want to help, especially if the toxic person is someone you care about. You might believe that if you just say the right thing or show enough compassion, they'll change. But the hard truth is that change must come from within. No amount of external effort can force someone to confront their inner turmoil if they're not ready or willing. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses. Trying to fix someone else falls outside this realm. It's like trying to calm the sea by shouting at the waves. Instead, channel your energy into maintaining your own stability. By prioritizing your well-being, you become a steady presence, a calm harbor in the storm. This, paradoxically, may inspire others to reflect on their own behavior. Letting go of the need to fix someone doesn't mean you abandon them entirely. It means recognizing the limits of your influence. You can offer support and resources, perhaps a book that's helped you, a suggestion for therapy, or simply a listening ear. But you must also accept that the choice to change lies with them. This acceptance frees you from the frustration and emotional exhaustion of trying to control the uncontrollable. Now picture a toxic individual as a fisherman casting their net, hoping to ensnare you in their web of drama. Their bait might be an insult, a guilt trip, or a provocative comment designed to pull you in. The Stoics would counsel you to step back and observe without engaging. Don't take the bait. Instead, respond with calm detachment. A simple, "I hear you," or "That's interesting," can be enough to acknowledge their words without giving them the emotional reaction they seek. By refusing to engage, you shift the dynamic. The power they once held over you begins to wane. You are no longer a pawn in their game, reacting to their moves. Instead, you become an observer, unshaken and in control. This practice requires discipline, but with time, it becomes second nature. The more you resist their bait, the more you reinforce your boundaries and protect your peace. But even the strongest boundaries can be tested. There will be moments when their negativity seeps through, leaving you feeling drained or unsettled. In these moments, self-care becomes your sanctuary. Think of it as a fire that warms and revitalizes you after facing the cold winds of toxicity. Self-care is not selfish. It's an essential act of preservation. It allows you to recharge and approach challenges with renewed strength. Consider creating rituals that ground you. Perhaps it's a morning meditation where you set an intention for the day and remind yourself of your values. Or maybe it's an evening walk, a time to reflect and release any tension from the day. These moments of stillness and reflection are like anchors, keeping you steady amidst life's uncertainties. The Stoics often turned to nature for solace and perspective. Marcus Aurelius wrote of the interconnectedness of all things, finding comfort in the vastness of the natural world. Take time to immerse yourself in nature, whether it's a hike through the woods, a stroll by the ocean, or simply sitting under a tree. These experiences remind you of life's beauty and your place within it, putting the actions of toxic individuals into perspective. As you cultivate this resilience, you may begin to notice something remarkable: your ability to influence without force. By embodying Stoic principles, calm, patience, and reason, you become a living example of what it means to live with virtue. Toxic individuals may not change overnight, but your steadiness can plant a seed. They may begin to see the futility of their negativity when faced with your unshakable composure. Still, not all battles are worth fighting. Sometimes, the most courageous act is to walk away. This decision isn't about giving up. It's about recognizing that some relationships are too damaging to sustain. Walking away creates space for growth, healing, and new opportunities. It's a declaration that your well-being matters, that you refuse to let someone else's darkness dim your light. Walking away doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as choosing to spend less time with someone or politely declining their invitations. It's not about cutting people off without explanation, but about prioritizing your peace. When you walk away, you're not abandoning them. You're choosing to protect yourself. As you move forward, there's one final, vital step: forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about excusing their behavior or pretending the hurt didn't happen. It's about releasing the grip of resentment and freeing yourself from the burden of anger. Resentment is like carrying a heavy stone. It weighs you down, robbing you of joy and energy. Forgiveness allows you to set that stone down and walk unencumbered. To forgive doesn't mean you condone their actions. It means you acknowledge the pain they caused, accept that you cannot change the past, and choose to move forward. This act of letting go is not for them, it's for you. It's a reclaiming of your power, a step toward healing and renewal. Picture yourself standing on the shore, watching the storm recede. The waves that once raged have calmed, and the sky is clearing. You feel a sense of lightness, of peace. This is the power of Stoic resilience, the ability to weather life's storms and emerge stronger, grounded in your principles and unshaken by the chaos around you. Imagine a quiet morning as the first rays of sunlight touch the horizon. The air is crisp, the world still, and everything seems in balance. In this moment, there's clarity, a reminder that even after the darkest night, the light returns. This serenity mirrors the state of mind you cultivate when practicing forgiveness and emotional detachment, two pillars of Stoic philosophy that allow you to navigate the most challenging relationships with grace and resilience. Forgiveness begins with understanding. Toxic individuals often act out of their own pain, fear, or insecurities. Their negativity, while aimed at you, is rarely about you. Recognizing this doesn't excuse their behavior, but helps shift your perspective. Instead of viewing their actions as personal attacks, you begin to see them as reflections of their inner struggles. This shift is transformative. It frees you from the emotional hooks of anger and resentment, allowing you to reclaim your peace. Picture yourself holding a tightly clenched fist. Inside is a small stone, a representation of your anger or frustration towards someone who has wronged you. The longer you hold on to it, the more your hand aches, the weight pressing harder against your palm. Forgiveness is the act of opening your hand, letting the stone fall away. It doesn't erase what happened, but it releases you from the pain of holding on. Forgiveness doesn't mean immediate reconciliation. It doesn't mean inviting someone back into your life or ignoring the harm they've caused. Instead, it's a quiet, internal process, a choice to no longer let their actions dictate your emotional state. It's about giving yourself permission to move forward, unburdened by the weight of the past. In the same way, emotional detachment is not about apathy or indifference. It's about creating a healthy distance between yourself and the turmoil of others. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast canyon. On the other side, a toxic person is shouting, their words echoing across the divide. You hear them, but the distance softens their impact. Their voice no longer reaches your core. This is the power of detachment. It allows you to observe without absorbing. Detachment also fosters clarity. When you step back, you can assess situations more objectively, free from the cloud of emotional reactions. This clarity helps you decide how to respond, or whether to respond at all. Sometimes the most powerful response is silence. Silence can be disarming, a signal that you refuse to engage in unnecessary conflict. It shifts the balance of power, leaving the other person to confront their behavior without the fuel of your reaction. But practicing detachment requires discipline. Toxic individuals often know how to push your buttons, drawing you into their drama. It's in these moments that the stoic practice of self-reflection becomes invaluable. When you feel the pull of their negativity, pause. Ask yourself, what's within my control? How do I want to respond? By focusing on what aligns with your values, you ensure your actions are guided by reason rather than emotion. As you cultivate forgiveness and detachment, you may find yourself naturally limiting your exposure to negativity. This isn't about avoidance, it's about preservation. Imagine a garden where vibrant flowers bloom. To keep it thriving, you must pull the weeds that threaten to overtake it. In the same way, limiting interactions with toxic individuals allows you to focus on the relationships and activities that nourish your spirit. Creating distance can be as simple as saying no to an invitation or redirecting conversations away from negative topics. It might mean setting firm boundaries, like choosing not to engage in gossip or refusing to be drawn into arguments. These actions aren't about shutting people out, but about protecting your well-being. They're acts of self-respect, affirming that your peace is worth safeguarding. To balance this, seek out relationships that uplift and inspire you. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage growth, who celebrate your successes, and who offer support in times of need. These positive connections act as a buffer against negativity, reinforcing your resilience and reminding you of the goodness in the world. At the same time, invest in your relationship with yourself. Self-care is a vital part of this journey, a practice that recharges your emotional reserves and strengthens your ability to face challenges. Consider what activities bring you joy and renewal. Maybe it's spending time in nature, losing yourself in a favorite book, or simply sitting in quiet meditation. Whatever it is, make it a priority. The Stoics often turn to nature for perspective, finding comfort in its vastness and constancy. Seneca wrote of the peace found in simple things, watching the stars, listening to the rustle of leaves. These moments remind us of our place in the universe, a humbling yet empowering realization. They show us that life's storms are temporary, that even the fiercest winds eventually calm. As you navigate this path, remember that not all relationships can or should be saved. Sometimes the healthiest choice is to walk away. This decision isn't about failure. It's about recognizing your limits and honoring your boundaries. Walking away creates space for new opportunities, for relationships that bring joy and support, rather than pain and conflict. But walking away doesn't have to be final or dramatic. It can be a quiet withdrawal, a gradual shift in how you interact. You might reduce the frequency of conversations or politely decline invitations that don't serve your well-being. It's not about cutting ties recklessly, but about prioritizing your peace. And when you do walk away, let forgiveness be your parting gift, not for them, but for yourself. Let go of any lingering resentment, knowing it has no place in the life you're building. Replace it with gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained. Each challenge, no matter how difficult, has shaped you into the person you are today. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a clear, flowing river. The water carries away debris, leaving only clarity behind. This is your journey with toxic individuals, a process of letting go, of releasing what no longer serves you. Through forgiveness, detachment, and self-care, you find yourself stronger, more centered, and more at peace. You are the captain of your ship, the guardian of your fortress, the gardener of your inner world. No storm, no siege, no weed can take that away from you. With the wisdom of the Stoics as your guide, you navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience, knowing that your inner peace is your greatest strength. Picture yourself standing on a mountaintop, the wind brushing past you as you gaze at the vast expanse below. The valleys and forests stretch far into the horizon, a reminder of the interconnectedness of everything, yet also of your own independence. This is the perspective the Stoics invite us to embrace, an understanding that while we are part of a larger world, our inner peace and emotional well-being are entirely within our control. When dealing with toxic individuals, this perspective is crucial. They might attempt to draw you into their negativity, but by anchoring yourself in Stoic principles, you can remain grounded and unshaken. One of the most powerful tools the Stoics offer is the art of reframing, seeing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Toxic people test your patience, resilience, and emotional discipline, but in doing so, they also provide the chance to strengthen these virtues. Imagine a difficult interaction as a weight you lift in the gym of life. At first, it might feel heavy, even unbearable, but with practice and persistence, you grow stronger. Each encounter with negativity becomes a lesson, teaching you how to remain composed, how to assert boundaries, and how to stay true to your values. Instead of resenting these interactions, you begin to see them as training grounds for your own growth. Reframing also involves shifting your focus. Toxic individuals often thrive on attention, drawing others into their drama to validate their behavior. When you choose not to engage, you deny them this power. Instead of reacting to their provocations, direct your energy toward what truly matters: your goals, your passions, and the relationships that uplift you. This shift not only protects your peace, but also reinforces your sense of purpose. Think of your attention as a spotlight. Where you shine it determines what grows in your life. By withdrawing it from toxic people, you allow other more positive aspects of your life to flourish. This act of redirection is not avoidance, it's a deliberate choice to prioritize what nurtures your well-being. These words are a call to reclaim your power. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Toxic comments, criticisms, or manipulations are only as effective as the weight you give them. By challenging and reframing these judgments, you strip them of their influence. Instead of asking, "Why did they say that to me?" ask, "Why does their opinion matter?" This shift places the control back in your hands. At times, their negativity might feel overwhelming, like a cloud blocking the sun. But even the thickest clouds are temporary. The sun remains constant, shining above. You are that sun. Your inner light, your values, and your peace are untouchable, no matter how much someone tries to overshadow them. This is the essence of Stoic resilience, knowing that your core remains intact, no matter the storms around you. To reinforce this light, turn to the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity. It shifts your focus from what's lacking or troubling to what's abundant and good. Each day, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for, big or small. It could be the warmth of the sun on your face, the kindness of a friend, or the progress you've made in your journey toward resilience. Gratitude doesn't erase the challenges you face, but it changes how you approach them. It reminds you that despite the difficulties, there is still beauty and goodness in your life. This practice not only uplifts your spirit, but also builds a buffer against the draining effects of toxic interactions. As you cultivate gratitude, you'll find it easier to forgive, not for their sake, but for your own. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior. It's about releasing yourself from the grip of anger and resentment. When you hold on to these emotions, it's like carrying a heavy load on a long journey. Forgiveness is the act of setting that load down, freeing yourself to move forward with ease. Forgiving a toxic person doesn't mean allowing them back into your life. It doesn't mean forgetting what they've done or pretending it didn't hurt. It simply means acknowledging the pain, accepting that you can't change the past, and choosing to let go. It's an act of liberation, a gift you give yourself. Imagine a bird flying high above the earth, unencumbered by the weight of anything below. This is the freedom forgiveness offers, a chance to soar above the pettiness, negativity, and drama, unshaken by what once held you down. In your journey toward resilience, there will be times when walking away is the best course of action. Walking away is not defeat. It's a declaration of your self-worth. It's a recognition that some battles aren't worth fighting, that your energy is better spent on things that bring joy, growth, and meaning to your life. Walking away can be as subtle as limiting interactions or as decisive as ending a toxic relationship entirely. Either way, it's an act of courage and self-respect. It's a choice to prioritize your peace and well-being over the chaos someone else brings. And as you create this space, you make room for the people and experiences that truly matter. Picture yourself standing in an open field, the toxic clouds that once loomed over you now far in the distance. The air is fresh, the sky clear, and the horizon full of possibility. This is the life you create when you embrace the wisdom of the Stoics, one of strength, clarity, and inner peace. Each encounter with toxicity becomes an opportunity to practice patience, to assert your boundaries, and to grow in resilience. Each step you take, guided by the principles of detachment, forgiveness, and gratitude, brings you closer to the life you deserve, a life where your inner light shines brightly, undimmed by the storms of others. Imagine a flowing river, its waters clear and steady, cutting through rocks and terrain with effortless persistence. The river doesn't resist the obstacles in its path. It moves around them, continuing forward without hesitation. This is the essence of resilience, the ability to navigate life's challenges, including toxic individuals, with grace and determination. The Stoics understood this well, teaching that life is filled with difficulties, but our power lies in how we respond to them. One of the greatest lessons the Stoics offer is the importance of focusing on what you can control. Toxic individuals often thrive on creating chaos, attempting to manipulate or provoke reactions. But the truth is, they have no power over you unless you give it to them. Their words, actions, and negativity are external forces. Your response, however, is entirely within your control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple truth is transformative. When faced with someone's toxic behavior, pause and remind yourself, I control my reaction. Instead of being swept up in their drama, you choose how to respond. This mindset shifts the dynamic, putting you in control of the interaction. Imagine a toxic person trying to ignite a fire within you. They throw sparks, hoping one will catch. But if there's no fuel, no dry wood to feed the flames, the fire never starts. Your calm and composure are that absence of fuel. By refusing to engage, you deny them the satisfaction of a reaction. You become like a stone in a stream, unyielding as the water flows around you. This detachment doesn't mean you're indifferent or cold. It means you prioritize your peace above their chaos. It's about recognizing that their negativity says more about them than it does about you. You can acknowledge their behavior without letting it disrupt your inner calm. To strengthen this detachment, practice self-reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to review your interactions. Ask yourself, did I stay true to my values? Did I maintain my composure? This practice, rooted in Stoic tradition, helps you learn from each experience and refine your approach. Over time, you'll find it easier to remain calm, even in the face of provocation. Another powerful strategy is to create emotional boundaries. Toxic individuals often push and prod, testing your limits. By setting clear boundaries, you protect yourself from their influence. These boundaries can be verbal, communicating what behavior you will and won't tolerate, or they can be physical, such as limiting the time you spend with them. Boundaries are not walls meant to shut others out. They're gates that allow you to decide who enters your emotional space. For example, if someone constantly criticizes you, calmly but firmly say, "I appreciate feedback, but I'd prefer it to be constructive." If they continue, you might choose to disengage, walking away from the conversation. This isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about standing up for yourself in a way that aligns with your values. As you set boundaries, consistency is key. Toxic individuals often test limits, hoping you'll waver. By holding firm, you send a clear message. Your well-being is non-negotiable. This steadfastness not only protects you, but also commands respect. Still, there will be times when your boundaries are challenged and the negativity feels overwhelming. In these moments, turn to self-care as your refuge. Self-care isn't just about relaxation. It's about replenishing your energy and fortifying your resilience. Think of it as sharpening your tools, ensuring you're equipped to handle whatever challenges come your way. Engage in activities that nourish your spirit. Perhaps it's a quiet walk in the woods, where the stillness of nature reminds you of life's balance. Or maybe it's journaling, a practice the Stoics valued for its ability to clarify thoughts and align actions with principles. Whatever form it takes, make self-care a priority, recognizing that it's an essential part of your journey. At the same time, cultivate gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. It reminds you of the abundance in your life, the supportive relationships, the moments of joy, the progress you've made. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for. These reflections act as a counterbalance to negativity, reinforcing your sense of contentment and resilience. As you navigate these practices, you may find that some relationships remain unchangeable. No matter how much effort you put in, the other person continues their toxic patterns. In these cases, the most courageous act is to walk away. Walking away isn't about giving up, it's about choosing yourself. It's a declaration that your peace is more important than their chaos. Walking away doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as reducing your interactions or politely declining engagements that don't serve your well-being. It's not about cutting ties recklessly, but about creating space for growth and healing. By stepping back, you create room for relationships and experiences that uplift and support you. And when you do walk away, let forgiveness be your final act. Forgiveness isn't about excusing harmful behavior, it's about releasing yourself from the grip of resentment. When you forgive, you free yourself from the emotional weight of the past, allowing you to move forward with lightness and clarity. Imagine yourself standing on a beach, watching the tide carry away debris. The waves wash the shore clean, leaving behind a sense of renewal. This is what forgiveness feels like, a release that brings peace. It doesn't change the past, but it transforms how you carry it. Through forgiveness, detachment, self-care and boundaries, you cultivate a life of resilience and purpose. You become like the river, flowing steadily toward your goals, undeterred by obstacles. Toxic individuals may cross your path, but they cannot derail your journey. Your peace is your power, and with the wisdom of the Stoics as your guide, you protect it fiercely. Imagine a vast meadow stretching out before you, filled with wildflowers swaying gently in the breeze. This open space symbolizes your mind when freed from the clutter of negativity. Toxic individuals may once have planted weeds in this meadow, but with intention and care, you've cleared the ground, allowing only what nourishes you to flourish. The journey to this mental clarity requires ongoing effort, but it is deeply rewarding as it gives you the freedom to live with greater purpose and peace. A cornerstone of this freedom is recognizing when to disengage. Toxic individuals often thrive on attention, drawing others into their emotional chaos. But the Stoics remind us that participation in this chaos is always a choice. When you withdraw your energy from their provocations, you take away the fuel that feeds their behavior. This disengagement is not about avoidance, but about prioritizing your well-being. Think of disengagement as stepping out of a storm. The winds may rage and the rain may fall, but you choose not to stand in its path. Instead, you seek shelter, a place of calm where the storm cannot reach you. This shelter might be a physical space, a quiet room, a park bench, or even your own home. Or it might be an emotional boundary, a firm decision not to let someone's negativity affect your inner peace. As you disengage, you may encounter resistance. Toxic individuals often escalate their behavior when they sense they're losing control. They might try harder to provoke a reaction, testing your resolve. But remember, their actions are not about you. They're a reflection of their own struggles. By remaining calm and consistent, you reinforce your boundaries and demonstrate that you will not be drawn into their turmoil. Detachment becomes a powerful ally in this process. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what isn't yours. Imagine holding a heavy sack filled with stones, each one representing a toxic person's negativity. You didn't put the stones in the sack, yet you've been carrying them for far too long. Detachment is the act of setting the sack down, acknowledging that you are not responsible for their burdens. This mindset allows you to see their behavior more objectively. Instead of internalizing their words or actions, you view them as an observer. You recognize the patterns, the triggers, and the motives behind their negativity. This awareness gives you the clarity to respond thoughtfully or not at all, depending on what serves your peace. To reinforce this clarity, turn to the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness, a concept deeply aligned with Stoic principles, involves being fully present in the moment. When you practice mindfulness, you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to respond rather than react. For example, if a toxic individual makes a cutting remark, mindfulness helps you pause, recognize your emotional response, and choose how to proceed. This pause is a powerful tool, giving you control over your actions. Mindfulness can be cultivated through simple practices. Begin with your breath. When you feel overwhelmed, take a few deep breaths, focusing on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your lungs. This anchors you in the present moment, creating a sense of calm. Over time, you can expand this practice to include daily reflections, where you take a few minutes to assess your thoughts and emotions, realigning them with your values. Another practice that complements mindfulness is gratitude. Toxic individuals often pull your attention toward what's wrong. their complaints, their criticisms, their negativity. Gratitude shifts your focus back to what's right. Each day, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a kind word from a friend, a moment of laughter, or the beauty of a sunset. These reflections act as a counterweight to negativity, grounding you in the abundance of your life. Gratitude also fosters forgiveness. Forgiveness, as the Stoics taught, is not about condoning harm, but about freeing yourself from resentment. Resentment is like a tether, keeping you tied to the past. Forgiveness cuts the tether, allowing you to move forward unencumbered. It's not an easy process, but it's a liberating one. When you forgive, you reclaim your power, choosing peace over anger. But the Stoics remind us that life is precious, and our time should be spent on what enriches us, not what depletes us. Walking away can take many forms. It might mean ending a friendship, setting strict boundaries with a family member, or limiting contact with a coworker. It's not about burning bridges, but about creating space for growth and healing. And as you walk away, carry with you the lessons the relationship has taught you. Every challenge, no matter how painful, holds the potential for growth. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a forest, ready to step into the sunlight of a new path. The trees behind you represent the toxic relationships and challenges you've faced. The open field ahead symbolizes the possibilities that await when you let go of what no longer serves you. As you take that step forward, you carry with you the strength, resilience, and wisdom you've gained. Through detachment, mindfulness, gratitude, and forgiveness, you transform yourself into a person who is not only resilient, but also deeply at peace. Toxic individuals may still cross your path, but they no longer have the power to disrupt your calm. You are the river flowing steadily forward. You are the meadow, open and free. You are the captain of your journey, guided by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. Picture a calm sea at sunset, its surface reflecting the golden hues of the sky. The waves are gentle, the horizon endless. This is the culmination of your journey, a life where your peace is no longer dictated by the chaos of others. Toxic individuals may still appear, like passing storms, but they no longer have the power to stir the depths of your calm. You've become the guardian of your own serenity, anchored in the wisdom of the Stoics. At the heart of this transformation is the understanding that your peace is your responsibility. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control others, we have complete authority over our own thoughts and actions. This realization is empowering. It shifts the focus from external challenges to internal mastery, allowing you to approach every situation with clarity and strength. One of the greatest tools in maintaining this inner peace is acceptance. Toxic people often act out of their own pain or insecurities, projecting their struggles onto those around them. Recognizing this allows you to approach them with compassion rather than frustration. Acceptance doesn't mean condoning their behavior. It means acknowledging it for what it is and choosing not to let it disrupt your well-being. Imagine a tree in the midst of a storm. The wind howls, the branches sway, but the roots remain steadfast, grounding the tree through the chaos. This is how acceptance works. It grounds you in reality, allowing you to remain calm even as negativity swirls around you. The storm will pass, but your roots, your values and principles remain unshaken. To cultivate this groundedness, continue practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches you to observe without judgment, to experience without attachment. When a toxic person tries to provoke you, mindfulness creates a pause, a moment to breathe, reflect, and choose your response. Instead of reacting impulsively, you act with intention, guided by your inner compass. As you navigate these interactions, remember the power of gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, reminding you of the beauty and goodness in your life. It acts as a shield, protecting you from the negativity of others. Each day, take time to reflect on what you're grateful for. These moments of appreciation are like sunlight, illuminating the positive aspects of your journey. But even as you cultivate gratitude and mindfulness, there will be times when you need to walk away. Walking away is not a sign of weakness, it's a declaration of strength. It's a choice to prioritize your peace over the chaos of others. Toxic relationships, no matter how long-standing, can drain your energy and hinder your growth. By stepping back, you create space for healing and new opportunities. Walking away doesn't have to be abrupt or dramatic. It can be a gradual process, a series of small steps that create distance. You might limit interactions, set firmer boundaries, or redirect your energy toward relationships and activities that uplift you. Whatever form it takes, walking away is an act of self-respect, a commitment to your well-being. As you move forward, carry with you the lessons you've learned. Toxic individuals, while challenging, have taught you resilience. They've tested your patience, strengthened your boundaries, and deepened your understanding of yourself. These experiences, though difficult, have contributed to your growth. Embrace them as part of your journey, a testament to your strength. Now picture yourself standing on a hilltop, looking out at the path you've traveled, the challenges you've faced, the lessons you've learned, and the growth you've achieved stretch out behind you like a winding trail. Ahead lies an open horizon, full of possibility. You've let go of what no longer serves you, making room for what brings joy and meaning to your life. This is the power of stoic wisdom, a life lived with intention, resilience, and peace. Toxic individuals may still appear, but they no longer control your narrative. You've become the author of your story, shaping it with purpose and clarity. Through acceptance, detachment, mindfulness, and gratitude, you've built a fortress of inner peace. Your boundaries are strong, your values clear, and your spirit unshaken. You are the calm in the storm, the steady hand on the wheel, the light in the darkness. With the Stoics as your guide, you face each day with courage, knowing that your peace is your greatest strength. And so you walk forward, not weighed down by the past, but empowered by the wisdom you've gained. Your journey is your own, and it is beautiful.